So I want to talk about something that a lot of women notice, but don't always say out loud or at all, especially now, you know. And it's that friendships are feeling really hard at the moment, at least harder than they used to be. And it's true because, I mean, look at what's happening. So we still like people. We're not antisocial. And even though being parasocial is a big thing because you feel like you're super connected to all your friends, thousand friends on social media. The truth is, just trying to get some more light. The truth is, we haven't stopped caring, and people are still going to be people. We still want to engage and be connected, but because the way that we learned to move through the world has changed and is fast changing every day. Hello, you know, the way we're moving through the world has changed, and it has changed how we need to navigate relationships, how we need to do everything. And I feel like I'm preaching to the choir, but I just want you to know that if you felt more distant, more tired, or felt less connected than you typically have in the past, or than you're expected to feel at this stage of life, you're not imagining it. It's actually taking more energy. So stay with me, because I have 3 points that I want to share with you about why it's feeling so enervating and so draining for adults to maintain relationships beyond superficial relationships, enter to have relationships or friendships that are connected, that are deep, beyond the surface level. The first point I want to make is that friendships used to be built in when we were growing up, my generation and probably yours, there were relationships that came as a result of life, right? The schools you attended. Some of us still have elementary school friends, high school friends, university friends, graduate degree friends. So schools built into schools. But now the relationships are requiring copious amounts of energy to even find them, to nurture them, to keep them going, to find potentials, I'll say, to establish relationships, friendships, to curate and nurture, and to maintain a lot of energy. So, because earlier relationships were built in to school, to work, right? A lot of us now, we're calling our colleagues casual friends. We're saying professional friendships. We have all these cute names that we're using to specify the types of relationships. My dog is here that we have now as friendships. And then the third type of built-in relationship or friendships are the proximity ones. Your neighbors, people in church, people in your social groups, in your running clubs for me. So you didn't have to work so hard to stay connected, because I run almost every day. I belong to run groups. I work, right? I'm going to see them. If I'm in school, I'm still in school for 4 years. If it's an undergraduate, 2 years. If it's grad, you know what I mean. So you don't have to work as hard. They're there Monday through Friday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So as a result of these built-in friendships, we just kept them going, and they became what they became. Now you have to have that energy, because some of those built-in situations are no longer in existence, or if they are, it's requiring us to do things a little differently. Um, so there has to be more intention around it. Scheduling visits, hangouts, trips, all those different things that used to come as a result of us just being together or around each other often enough. It's now requiring us to schedule, to plan. And that takes a lot of not just physical energy, emotional energy, you know? So my point was that for this one is that in the past, prior to now, this period that we're experiencing, connections happened naturally, organically, because they were built into those different aspects of our lives. Whereas now it's taking a lot of effort. So, want you to know that it's not because your friendships are any less meaningful, even though some of them are, but overall, it's not because of that. It's really because, so they haven't stopped mattering. It's really because it's requiring a lot of energy. And that energy we're expending in other areas to maybe stay alive, or I'm being facetious, but you get my point, to just keep sane in some instances, right? Because who wants to be friends with someone who's losing it? It's almost taking all the energy that we have to stay abreast and to thrive with everything going on. So the second point I want to make about why adult relationships are so tedious for the most part, so enervating and so draining, is because we learned to be amenable, and a lot of those built-in relationships. So it builds on that first point, where kept going, were created, fostered because of amenability, right? I don't know if that I use that correctly, but because we learned to be amenable. And what I mean is that we were adjusting, we were adapting, we were agreeing, we were keeping things smooth, copacetic, just kind of moving things along. Going along to get along was really what was predicating those relationships. Whereas now, even though it's taking a lot of energy, what is requiring us to do is to be authentic. And for me, when I know the word authentic is nuanced, but it's also subjective, because some people believe that when you're authentic, it means you're sharing, you have vomit, excuse me. You're saying everything, you're telling all your deep, dark secrets. For me, authenticity, or being authentic, means that you're being yourself. You're not shaping, you're not changing, you're not auditing yourself, you're not self managing, you're just being yourself everywhere that you are, so that at work you're the same person, you know what I mean. So that's the context of authenticity that I'm using. So relationships now, even though they're more, maybe that's even why they require more energy, because they are they are needing us to be authentic, to share our true selves, to say what we mean in real time, not say one thing then go back and text another thing. They are requiring us to be ourselves, to be honest, to be in self integrity. Like, say what you mean, honestly. Stop caring about what others think about you at all. Say what you mean what you say. Because amenability required us, or called on us, to keep things again smooth, not to ask for much, to just stay where you are with the friendship, right? If we were meeting every Sunday after church for a brunch, let's just continue. Even if I've outgrown the restaurant we went to, or the 2-for-1 meal that we were eating, or now even I want to go back home or go somewhere else. I don't want to do this anymore. Well, we just kept going. And so that's what's happening. It created friendships that remained as long as nothing was challenged. You maintained the status quo. The connections that we had worked solely or mostly because we were agreeable. And so when you try to distance yourself and say something real, they would fall apart. So what do? You stay in it. And ease became the standard of the friendships. So even though you say it's easy to be friends with her, it sounds good on the outside, but what it really means is that, or the friendship is easy. It's not ease of that I can't be myself. It's ease of being amenable, just being in agreement, maintaining whatever we have. And because honesty became risky. If anyone's on live, just say hello. If you watch this, let me know what your thoughts are. If you agree, if you've experienced this at any point in time. And then the third point is that, and this one is really common. This one and the first one is that we have simply just outgrown the role that we used to play in those relationships. Time changes, things evolve, people evolve, nothing stays the same. I used to love 6-inch heels. wear them all day, up and down. Now you would probably have to pay me. May not be much, but a fiver will get me to do it, but you still have to pay. Things have changed. And that's a very simple example. Many more things have changed, but that's an example, you know. So the role of someone who used to wear heels everywhere is no longer one that I enjoy anymore or that I play. Um, that looks different for different people, and there are more things. Like I said, I'm just using that example because I feel like it's one that a lot of ladies can relate to, where you wear heels all day and now you you don't, maybe to that special occasion, or you go dinner to dinner party and all. Of course you're still able to wear it, but your flats are real handy. I still wear them. If I wear them, I wear them all day. I'm still able to do that. I still can do that, and I still like to do that, but I'm not wearing them as often. One of the roles too that a lot of high achieving folks, women, black in particular, is that strong woman role, where doing a lot, if not everything, was your identity. You wore it like a badge of honor. It's no longer the case. So if your friendships were predicated on you always being in control, being in charge, having the best whatever it is, organizing things, scheduling things, you no longer want to be that. This is our soft life era. And I mentioned in another video, soft life doesn't mean you don't do anything. It doesn't mean that you're just chilling, but I know that we can chill as high achievers, but what it means is that what we're doing is in alignment with the desires of our heart. So back to my point. The roles have changed. As life has evolved, we've changed, hopefully, because if you're not growing, if you're not evolving, if you're not changing, you're actually stagnating. There's no neutrality around that. You're either getting better or you're getting worse. If nothing has changed, if you're still the same way, still doing the same things, same conversations, same friendships, or maybe same types of friendships, you need to change things up. There's no way that you can say and honestly feel that lack of movement is okay. It's not. Another role is being understanding and taking a lot of things, giving people grace upon grace upon grace upon grace. I know Jesus says, how many times you forgive? You forgive 7 times, 7 times. You're not Jesus. And you can still forgive, but remove yourself from that situation. So the understanding role is no longer one that we keep giving and giving and giving or living in. A lot of us have decided that enough is enough. I can understand from a distance. I can empathize with grace. I can extend grace, but I don't need to keep subjecting myself to the disrespect, to the whatever it is, right? And then the third role, very common role, is not needing much. Again, it's not that we didn't have needs, it's just that I don't know what I'm saying again because I haven't mentioned it. So I want to explain that by saying that it's not that we didn't have needs or desires. We were just operating under the conditioning of playing small, shrinking yourself, holding yourself back, not saying what you want because you don't want to change things, you don't want to be selfish. It's easier to just be agreeable. So those roles have changed. And with the roles that have changed, have come the need to put more energy and effort. Because if you're no longer in the role of being strong, the effort that you have to display or put into shifting into one who's in her soft life era, or one who's no longer going to always doing things, it requires something. It's easier to just go along to get along than to stand up for your rights, put boundaries, not your rights, stand up for what you want, and enforce boundaries and speak up and articulate your desires and be yourself, you know, show up as you are. So what has changed is we're not disappearing. We're standing 10 toes down as who we are. We're saying we want this. And if we don't get it, we don't need to be friends. We don't need to be in this relationship. We also we're seeing this thing where relationships are feeling mutually beneficial, not symbiotic or parasitic, worse still, where one person or persons is just taking. We're seeing relationships forged on mutual values, mutual exchange of things. And it doesn't mean that I'm giving you to get, but it does mean that I'm giving you because the expectation is when I need, and it doesn't have to be material, I can count on you to be the type of friend that I am to you. So when a relationship only stays or only works, if you're staying the same, growth will always feel like it's far off, it's way off, like a distance. So those are the 3 points. Those are the three reasons, main reasons why adult friendships are feeling much more difficult in this climate than they used to. They're just taking up much more energy. And they're taking up much more energy because, one, I'm doing a quick recap. Friendships that we had in the past were built into our lives, into our schools, our churches, work life, and the things that we were doing, proximity neighbors. Second point was that the friendships then, our roles were to be amenable and not authentic. We weren't very honest with ourselves. And the third point is that we've outgrown the roles that we used to play in those prior relationships, and we're now more authentic and genuine and real and having boundaries and all that in this new era of relationships, I want to say. So if you are feeling this in any way, shape, or form, nothing is wrong with you. It's just the way things are now. You're not bad at friendships. You're not a bad friend. You're just no longer willing to manage things, to keep people or things comfortable. If this conversation resonated, if it's helping you to identify what's happening, I have a good first start to help with this shift. The link is in the description. It's a good place to start. It's my guide called the Unperformed Woman's Guide. It's where I am now sitting fully, where I'm speaking to high achieving individuals, but women in particular, who have been performing, who have been wearing the mask, who have been in these types of relationships, who are still in these types of relationships, who are somewhat, I don't want to say stuck because I don't like that word, but who are at points in their life where they are feeling that inside the inside feelings are not matching the outside or the external successes. They sense and they know deep down that there's a need to shift. And the shift is not coming from doing more, accumulating more, going after more goals. It's coming from that inner designer calling that's saying to you, why is my life not feeling as good as it looks? Something needs to shift because at this point in my life, I thought that when I had all these things, when I acquired all these things, I would feel peaceful, I would feel fulfilled, I would feel happy, feel good, and I'm not. In fact, it seems like the more things I acquire, and maybe this fourth marriage, third marriage, this new connection, this new house, shoe, trip, car, whatever it is actually making me feel even more miserable in my life. I know. There's good news. All of this can be shifted. And the first step is with this Unperformed Woman's Guide. Okay? So the link is in the description, and I'll see you in the next live. Remember, if you watch it, let me know what you took away from it. Ciao.